Do you think?
Okay, well, I think the shooting is very sad, and it continuously happens over and over again, and I really think that it's time to make a change, and that as a student body and as a community, we should be part of that change.
I was really upsetting, and I hate to say it, but I wasn't really surprised. I was just heard it, and I was like, "There's another one." So, yeah.
Speaking as a high school student, I really don't like being afraid, or not even being afraid, but I really don't like that there's a possibility that someone can come into our school with a gun, and it's lame that is a worry of mine.
But unfortunately, even the FBI couldn't do much, apparently, for the last tragedy that happened. So I feel a lot of despair around that right now. The fact that our own government doesn't do anything about it. It's really infuriating to me.
Well, first of all, I think that the level of access to firearms that we have in this country is absolutely ridiculous. There are more guns in this country than there is in any other country, and that leads to higher levels of gun violence. There is a direct correlation that is completely undeniable.
I obviously believe we have a mass shooting problem in the United States. I am a supporter of the Second Amendment and believe it's a people problem, not a gun problem. I do have guns in my house. They're stored properly and are safe and used mostly for hunting. I guess we need better screening for mental health, and we need to come up with some way to make it harder for the bad guys not to get the guns, right? So I don't know if that always means making it harder for like your average citizen to get a gun. I don't know if that's how it fixes. I'm not a politician, so I don't really know how that works. No, I wouldn't have a problem with it being more difficult to get a gun. It keeps them out of the hands of people who are going to misuse them. I think that's a good thing.
I think gun control is something that we like to tell ourselves is something we can fix, because we don't want to look at ourselves in the mirror and think that we're monsters, because we always like to think we're right. But as a society, as people, as individuals, we are giving up on people. We're only caring about ourselves. And we aren't caring about the loner in the hallway that we could just say hi to, and it could make the biggest difference. We just want to care about ourselves. We just want everything to be perfect and okay in our lives. And so we think if we can fix an object, we can fix all of that, and we don't have to fix ourselves, then everything will be fine.
I think that more importantly right now, our country is extremely polarized in this political climate, and for an issue so grave as the lives of children, we need to unite and realize that we're all fighting for the same thing, and we all want safety. No one doesn't want safety for their children, and our conflicts come from the different approaches of how we're going to get this safety, whether that be gun control or putting effort and money into solving mental health issues and having networks for children who are mentally unstable to be able to reach out to. And I think that what needs to happen is a combination of both of these things, and that we need to listen to each other or we're not going to get anywhere on this issue.
Me and my family have multiple guns in our house because we like to hunt, and we also believe in the right to bear arms.
The way it is in our nation right now, people on the terrorist watch list can walk into a store and buy a gun. People with a history of mental illness can walk into a store and buy a gun. I don't agree with that. You know, if you have shown signs of violence in the past, or if there's a reason that the government is specifically watching you, you know, you shouldn't be able to buy a gun. On the other side of that, you know, there's a lot of people are afraid that the government will take away their guns because on some level, their gun is an expression of who they are, and it is an expression of their freedom.
It's concerning to me that even though there are so many mass shootings and school shootings in recent years and farther back, that there hasn't really been any, on a federal level, legislation. And I was having a conversation earlier about possibly what's the age limit. At 18 years old, that means over 1 million high schoolers in the United States actually have the ability to purchase a weapon such as an AR-15. And that statistic is concerning to me. And many argue that they have a right to possess firearms or they don't want people taking their guns, and I can understand that, but I don't think that is the goal or the point of people who are in favor of some common sense gun regulation laws, which I think are going to be very important going forward.
Should the government take action to prevent gun violence? Absolutely. Yes, the Second Amendment is important. It's important to protect people's rights in this country to own guns and be able to protect themselves, but at the same time, we all have the right to live in this country, and that is more important than an individual's right to have an AK-47.
If someone were showing signs of committing violence, I would probably talk to a staff member or just like an adult of some sort, and even maybe the person, just like ask them, make sure they're okay. Because usually that's where it's coming from, is they're just not okay, and they need somebody there to support them.
I think if I were to see someone showing signs of committing a violent act, I would try to talk to that person, and not in a very confronting way, not tackle them to the ground and search through their backpack. I would really let that person know that there are people who care about them. These acts of violence, they don't come out of a place of ignorance. They come out of a place of hurt, and they don't come out of, anger. It's really a place of pain. And if we can all just kind of help each other out when we see somebody in that place, we can diminish that violent act and, hopefully be better people for it.
We need to really think about it. Think about, why are these people using guns? Why do they think they need to kill people? Why? We aren't asking ourselves that question. We're asking the wrong ones, and we need to start thinking about why that kid did it, what pushed him, what could have been done for that innocent kid to not have gone so bad.
I feel like a lot of kids today don't feel like they can express themselves. We're in a digital era where we're more connected than we've ever been before, but at the same time, we're all alone. No one can ever really be themselves. They all have to put on a fake mask and pretend to be somebody else to feel like they fit in. And I feel like that posing really is detrimental to your health, your ego, which isn't always a bad thing, and your personality. And when kids feel like they can never be themselves, they take extreme action. They shoot up a school. It's hard to talk about, and I feel like we are a little desensitized to it nowadays. We have all of these mass shootings, and there's a mass shooting, and then we sweep it under the rug and don't talk about it. And I think on some level that's we're in denial that there is a problem with our school system and our society nowadays.
I also think, though, that mental health issues are worldwide, and we don't see shootings like this on the same level worldwide. So many people say, gun control, it's really a mental health issue. And I think that there might be some truth to that, but at the end of the day, when we see this worldwide, we don't see it on the same level, and I do think that is because of gun control laws.
Get them. They blame it on mental health, but at the same time, the people who advocate for like better mental health in this country are people that want to pass things like universal health care and Obamacare and also want gun control. And the people on the other side of the issue don't want any of those things, and they don't want universal health care. So they're refusing to take care of any part of the issue, including the mental health perspective, which is just so hypocritical and wrong. And there is no excuse for it.
And I hope that people going forward will both take action themselves and really put the pressure on their representatives and the leadership in this country to take action. It is an epidemic that is affecting many people across the country and could very well affect us here.